Hey folks, welcome again to one of the most enthralling, exciting, enlightening and entertaining session of Science Scamper for classes 6 to 8 by Educatup. And I am your super science teacher Ambika. At Educatup, we always ensure to empower all our students as how to think and not what to think. So if you want to experience the same, it's the right time to subscribe to the Educatup's YouTube channel. The subscription button is just given below, guys. If you like our video, don't forget to press the like button and ensure to hit the bell icon to get all the latest updates from Educatup. Now let's start today's session, and the topic for the day is microorganisms, friend and foe. Ooh. Yes, it is. Microorganisms are friends also, and they are our foes also. That means they are our enemies also. So we are going to discuss both the aspects about microorganisms in this chapter. But before that, let's see that what are the topics. Microorganisms, where do microorganisms live? Microorganisms and us, harmful microorganisms, food preservation and nitrogen cycle. So let's start with the first one, and that is microorganisms. Microorganisms are basically those organisms which cannot be seen with the help of naked eyes. That means कि हम जिन organisms को अपनी normal आंखों से नहीं देख सकते because उनका size इतना ज़्यादा छोटा है कि वो normal आंखों से दिखाई ही नहीं देते हैं. Those organisms are known as microorganisms. They are also known as microbes. Now, microbiology is the branch of biology which deals with the study of microorganisms. Alright, let's move ahead. Where do microorganisms live? Microorganisms live everywhere, from very cold to extremely hot climate, from marshy areas to desert areas. Microorganisms can survive every kind of environment. They are also found inside the body of animals, including human beings. Some microorganisms grow on other organisms, and while others exist freely. Let's move ahead. Microorganisms and us. Yes, now microorganisms are our friends because they help us in many things. The first is making of curd and bread. In both the things, the usage of microorganism is very much there. There is a bacteria called lactobacillus. It promotes the formation of curd. In milk, it multiplies itself and converts the milk into curd. Now, bacteria are also involved in the making of cheese, pickles and many other items. They are also important in rice, idlis and dosa batter. Yeast reproduce very rapidly and produces carbon dioxide during respiration. Now, bubbles of these carbon dioxide actually, inflates or makes the dough very fluffy and increases its volume. And this is the basis of the use of, yeast in baking industry to make the cakes and pastries fluffy and bouncy because of the yeast. Commercial use of microorganisms. They are used for large-scale production of alcohol, wine and acetic acid, which is commonly known as vinegar. Yeast is used for commercial production of alcohol and wine. For this purpose, yeast is grown on natural sugars present in grains like barley, wheat, rice. So actually what happens when yeast is grown on natural sugars, actually it produces ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide, and that is how in the production of alcohol, microorganisms are very helpful. Conversion of sugars into alcohol is known as fermentation. This process is known as fermentation. Let's move ahead. Action-packed info, guys. For you, something very enlightening and important. Louis Pasteur discovered fermentation in 1857. He has used yeast in baking industry, and that is why it is called as baker's yeast. Now, medicinal use of microorganisms. Antibiotics. Now, antibiotics are actually the source of antibiotics is microorganisms. We use a whole lot of antibiotics these days, and we are completely dependent on antibiotics. But antibiotics are actually made up of microorganisms. They actually, what they do, they kill or they stop the growth of microorganisms in the body. Sometimes antibiotics are also provided to the livestock or to the poultry animals to check infection in their body, and sometimes antibiotics are also used to check the diseases in plants. Action-packed info, guys. Vaccine. We really need to know what do we mean by vaccine. See, when a germ enters, or a microorganism enters our body, the immune system of our body identifies that it is a foreign substance and it develops antibodies to fight it down and curb it. If the dead germs or very weakened germs are made to enter in the body purposefully, then again the body will do the same function. Body will identify that these are foreign substances, it will develop the immunity, it will develop the antibodies, it will kill it. But those antibodies will survive in the body for whole life. Now whenever such germ will enter in the body, antibodies will curb it out. And this is the basis of vaccine. जब हम vaccination करते हैं तो actually में अगर जिस disease का भी vaccination किया है उसी के dead germs या बहुत ही weak germs को हम body में inject करते हैं. Body के antibodies develop कर लेती है उनके अगेंस्ट, उन्हें खत्म कर देती है, लेकिन एंटीबॉडीज हमेशा के लिए आपके बॉडी में बन गए हैं. अब दोबारा से जब कभी वो जर्म या उस डिजीज के जर्म्स आप पे अटैक करेंगे तो एंटीबॉडीज उन्हें खत्म कर देंगी और आप बीमार नहीं होंगे. यू विल बी vaccinated, you will be immune from that disease. For many diseases, vaccinations have been developed like cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox. Edward Jenner discovered the vaccine for smallpox in 1798. Now, increasing soil fertility. Microorganisms can also increase the fertility of the soil. There are some bacteria which are known as nitrogen-fixing bacteria. They convert atmospheric nitrogen to a soluble form of nitrogen, which is then absorbed by the plants. So, they are known as nitrogen fixers, in short. Cleaning the environment. Microorganisms also helps in cleaning the environment, but how? Microorganisms act on the dead remains of plants and animals and mix them with the soil. So in a way, they help in cleaning the environment. If suddenly an animal dies or if a plant is cut down, it is mixed with the soil. We see that after a certain while it's not visible. But actually these microorganisms act on their dead bodies, absorb the nutritional things from that and mix them with the soil, which can be again used by the plants and other animals. So they help in the cleaning of the environment and replenishing of the nutrients in the soil as well. Now, harmful microorganisms, foes. Till now we have discussed the friendly nature of microorganisms. Now it's time to discuss the harmful nature of microorganisms. The disease-causing microorganisms in humans are known as pathogens. Pathogens are the disease-causing microorganisms. They cause a whole lot of diseases. The basics are communicable diseases, the diseases which can be transmitted from one person, from the infected person to a healthy person through air, water, or physical contact. Examples like cholera, common cold, then your chicken pox, these can be transferred from one infected person to a healthy person. Now, some insects and animals act as carriers of these diseases. That means they carry the germs. Now, pathogens stick to the bodies of these carriers and these carriers carry them. One of the most common carrier is housefly. If housefly is sitting somewhere, so the germs of any disease can stick to the body of the housefly. When housefly will sit on your food, the germs will lay down on the food and you will get infected. So that is how. Then female Aedes mosquito is the carrier of the dengue virus. Now, disease-causing microorganisms in animals. Several microorganisms not only cause diseases in humans and plants but also in other animals. For example, anthrax is a dangerous bacteria which causes cattle diseases like foot and mouth disease. It's caused in cattle because of this anthrax. Now, disease-causing microorganisms in plants. Even in plants, diseases are caused by microorganisms. Like, there are three basic diseases. The first is citrus canker. It is caused by bacteria and it is transmitted by air. Rust of wheat, it is caused by fungi, transmitted by air and seeds. And yellow vein mosaic of bhindi or okra, it is caused by virus and it is transmitted by insect. So you can see microorganisms can cause diseases in humans, in animals and even in plants. Food poisoning. Food poisoning is caused due to consumption of the food items which have been spoiled or which have been infected by microorganisms. So they contain toxic substances, and when a person consumes that kind of food, you will have loose motions, you will have upset stomach, you will have vomiting or pukish feeling, headache or sometimes even fever. Alright? Now, food preservation. How we can keep our food preserved? We can preserve it. The first is the chemical method. Salt and edible oils are the common food preservatives. Sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfite are also used, and these are used in jams and squashes to prevent their spoilage. Then preservation by common salt. Common salt is a very good preservation. Meat and fish are covered with dry salt, so that bacteria should not grow on them. It is also used in amla and raw mangoes and tamarind to keep them fresh after cutting. Then preservation by sugar, obviously jams, jellies and squashes are preserved by sugar. Sugar reduces the moisture and inhibits the growth of bacteria and other microorganisms. Then preservation by oil and vinegar. Use of oil and vinegar prevents spoilage and in pickles, and it doesn't allow microorganisms to grow. Vegetables, fruits, fishes and meat are also preserved by this method. Heat and cold treatments. This is very important. Boiling kills many microorganisms, and freezing at a very low temperature does not allow microorganisms to grow. Now some action-packed info for you. Pasteurized milk. Pasteurization is a technique in which milk is heated for 15 to 30 seconds up to the temperature of about 70 degrees Celsius, and then immediately it is freezed. So what happens? Whatever microorganisms were present were killed by boiling, and then suddenly by freezing, whatever were remaining are also being killed and they cannot grow. So that is called pasteurization. It was discovered by Louis Pasteur. Now storage and packing. These days we have a whole lot of packaging available. We have a whole lot of containers which are available in which we can store food. So definitely we have airtight containers, we have microwave resistant containers, we have refrigerated resistant containers. Now nitrogen cycle. You know that in atmosphere 78% nitrogen gas is present, but that nitrogen gas is useless for plants. They cannot utilize it. So what happens? The atmospheric nitrogen, either by lightning or by the nitrogen fixing bacteria and blue-green algae, they fix the atmospheric nitrogen to the compounds of nitrogen in the soil, that means the soluble form. Now this soluble form is absorbed by the plants and they grow. Then plants are eaten by animals. Animals excrete those things which contain nitrogenous wastes, which is again mixed into the soil, and again the bacteria converts it into a form which goes into the atmosphere, and again from atmosphere it is converted to the soluble forms. Again it is taken up by the plants. Plants are again eaten up by the animals. Animals again excrete, again comes to the soil, again they are converted to atmospheric nitrogen. So this is the nitrogen cycle in which microorganisms play a very specific role, because they only convert this atmospheric nitrogen to a form which is soluble and it is mixed in the soil. So with this, we have come to the end of this super amazing session, and I hope that you all have subscribed to the Educatips YouTube channel. If you haven't done so, children, it's the time to do it, because the subscription button is just given below. If you like our video, don't forget to press the like button, and if you have any doubts, questions, queries, you can put them in the comment box below and I will definitely get back to you. So for your super science teacher Ambika, it's time to sign out for the day, but till the time we meet again, be happy, be safe and keep making only friends, no foes. Alright, till then, bye-bye.